Chapter 2. Like the story wasn't finished. The Bugglegum Reaper is about a boy who identifies himself as Wrigley because he's addicted to Wrigley's double mint chewing gum. He says it calms his nerves, and he chews so furiously, and often, that he frequently gets jaw aches and even the occasional bout of lockjaw. He never tells you his real name as you follow him through a year of high school. Wrigley mostly observes his classmates, whose company he doesn't enjoy, and talks about quitting all the time, only you really don't know what he wants to quit. I Googled the book, and there are theories online, whole websites dedicated to answering the question. Some people think Wrigley wants to kill himself, thereby quitting the human race. Some believe he simply wants to drop out of school. Some people think Wrigley's talking about God and really wants to quit believing in a higher power, which I'm not sure I get, because the narrator doesn't mention God even once. There are others who theorize that Wrigley wants to quit America, and that the whole book is about communism, but again, I'm not sure I believe that either. The problem is that Wrigley falls in love with one of two identical twin sisters, named Lena and Stella Thatch, only he doesn't know which he loves. It happens because one of them likes to talk to this turtle that suns itself on a rock sticking out of the creek near the high school they attend. Wrigley names this turtle Unproductive Ted because it just sits on the rock all day long doing nothing but soaking up the sun. I love that nickname so much, Unproductive Ted. From behind an oak tree, Wrigley eavesdrops on the twin talking to Unproductive Ted about all her fears and worries, and about something awful her father had done. But you never quite know for sure what that is. What's certain is that this girl is on the verge of tears the whole time. Wrigley listens patiently to everything the girl needs to get out, and then once he shows himself and she realizes he's heard everything, Wrigley immediately tries to comfort the twin by saying, "What you just said, all of it, I understand, I really do. I think the same thoughts. Well, most of them, too." She's mad at first about the spying, but then she and Wrigley have this amazing talk about life and their school, and how they can't be honest outside the woods, and about just quitting. The tragedy manifests when Wrigley leaves her. On his way home, much to his horror, he realizes he didn't ask for a name, and therefore doesn't know if he had this really intimate experience with Stella Thatch or Lena Thatch, which induces a crippling and nauseating anxiety attack. He actually pukes, because the twin kept saying over and over, "Please don't tell my sister about this, please." He realizes that he can ask one of the twins if it was her by the creek without risking betraying her confidence, because if he asks the wrong twin, it would ruin everything. It's obvious that he can't get out of his own way, but you feel really sorry for him anyway, because in his mind, it is an unsolvable problem that tortures him. He spends months trying to figure out exactly which twin he spoke with, and waiting for her to say something to him in school, and worrying that maybe she's waiting for him to make the first move, and he's also worrying even more that she regrets their private conversation in the woods, and never wishes to speak with Wrigley again. Finally, after months of watching the two twins in the lunchroom, he decides that Lena is his twin, mostly because she sometimes taps her foot nervously when she speaks at the table full of popular girls, but he's not exactly sure. Furthermore, Lena has begun carrying a handbag with an L stitched into it, which also seems like a very good sign. Maybe she's sending him a signal about her identity, cluing him in, he thinks. Wrigley decides to ask Lena to the prom, telling himself that if she says yes, he will know for sure that she was the one who confessed to Unproductive Ted. She does say yes, but seems unenthusiastic about the proposal, which confuses him even more. Wrigley rents a tuxedo and buys a yellow rose wrist corsage, and yet, just before he rings the doorbell at the twins' home, he realizes that the twin he met in the woods would never want to go to the prom. He knows this because he doesn't really want to go to the prom either, and is only in a tuxedo to find out if he has the right sister. He couldn't care less about any of the rest, or what he calls pageantry. The twin who talks to a turtle all alone by the creek would not love the Wrigley who attends.